Back again to do a quick and dirty BookTrek update. So I've been just insanely busy and I haven't really had time to do any booktube videos, but I have been reading Star Trek books. So I just thought I would pop in, do a quick update on what I've been reading and what I'm getting ready to read. And then starting next week, I don't have to go back to class until the 6th of July. So then I will take the time to do videos for each of these individual books. So the first book I read was Bloodthirst by J.M. Dillard. I thought this one would be an awesome segue between my Vampiril and Maypire reads and into BookTrek, since the big conflict in this book is has to do with a virus that causes the person to have vampire-like symptoms. And I did not think that I was going to love this book as a Star Trek story. I just thought it would be one of these, you know, silly Star Trek stories that I would just think was fun. But it really surprised me. I really enjoyed this. I thought it was fantastic. But I won't go into details in this video, because like I said, I'm just trying to do this fast. So then I read the Legacies trilogy. The first one is called Captain to Captain by Greg Cox. The second one is called Best Defense by David Mack. And the third one is called Purgatorys Key by Dayton Ward and Kevin Dillmore. So I read this first one, and this is about a secret that is being kept by each captain of the Enterprise. It starts with Captain April and then gets passed down to Pike, who then passes that secret down to Kirk. And I was dying to read this trilogy. I just really wanted to know what the whole secret was. And this first one was fantastic. I absolutely loved this one. It was the best one in the trilogy, in my opinion. Absolutely loved it. I would highly recommend reading this trilogy just really for this first book because it was so good. I absolutely loved it. Then the second book, Best Defense, this one was okay. It suffered very badly from a middle book lull. It just, you know how sometimes if you read a trilogy, the middle book is sort of boring, quite frankly. This one suffered from that. It was boring. And also, I don't think I cared for the way the writer was portraying some of the characters. For example, number one, or Una, is one of the main characters in all three books. And where book one, I thought she was portrayed very well. In book two, I did not care for the way that she was portrayed at all. This writer really made her irresponsible. And it was just not, well, I mean, actually, I don't know that the writer did that. This could have been one of these stories that was planned out ahead of time, and then everybody just sort of wrote their section according to the outline of the book. So I don't know if it was the writer's fault, but Una was not portrayed well. She was just really irresponsible, just very irresponsible, and I didn't care for it at all. Then we come to the third one, Purgatorys Key. This one was much better. I liked this one almost as much as book one, and I was super satisfied with the ending. Really liked it. We get a lot of Sarek in this book. So yeah, this one was really good as well. And then I listened to the audio. Oh, you know what? I did do some of this on audiobook, by the way. I had all three audiobooks, and I knew I was going to be really busy, so I was back and forth between the audiobooks and the book books on those three. And then this one, I got the audiobook from Scott Danielson. He had this and sent it to me, and it included everything that's in the book, including all of the, well, in the audiobook, they're called introductions. In this, they're called after forwards, but several different people who are involved in Star Trek give their interpretation of the whole problem that happened with the teleplay for Star Trek, for the original Star Trek episode called The City on the Edge of Forever by Harlan Ellison. So, you know, there's a famous feud between Gene Roddenberry and Harlan Ellison over the script. I really didn't know too much about it. I mean, I was aware of it, but only peripherally. So this had the original teleplay as Harlan Ellison wrote it, plus a whole bunch of other information. And after reading this book, I can't decide if I should go ahead and tell you my opinion of which I liked better or not. You know what? I think I'll save it for the individual video because I actually had a lot to say about what I read here. Well, I should say listened. I did this entire thing on audiobook. So yeah, I'll just save that for the individual video, but I will say that it was extremely interesting. All of the additional information you found out about the circumstances surrounding this script. Very interesting. Now those are the books I finished. So right now I'm reading Triangle by Sandra Marshak and Myrna Colbreth. And I saw Vin talk about this in a video in 2 book treks ago, and he hated this book. He just hated it. And I just thought it sounded so awful. Like, it sounds like it's so awful it's going to be good. And so far, what page am I on? I'm on page 33, and so far that's exactly how it's reading. It's so awful, it's good, and so far nobody's in character, and Kirk and Spock are saying things that I don't think they would say, but it's just so good. So I'm really enjoying this so far. And then this one I'm doing an audiobook. It's the 50-year mission, the first 25 years. This is actually 2 thicker books. I don't know how many pages this is. I think it's 560. So this one is 560, and the second book is about the same length. And this one I'm doing an audiobook. I'm on page 123, and I am really enjoying it. Essentially, it's just a whole lot of individuals saying different things about Star Trek over the years. So it's not like a written, what's the word I'm looking for? It's not a written, I want to say biography, but a show can't have a biography. It's not like that. It's just a lot of people talking about their experiences with the show and the people surrounding the show. So it's really, really interesting. But so far, it's not at the top of my list of books that I have enjoyed about Star Trek that aren't fictional. So, but it's pretty good. I mean, it's interesting. I'm definitely learning a lot of things I didn't know before. So there's that. And then, and I'll go on to some books that I will be reading here coming up. So a book that I'll for sure be reading is How Much for Just the Planet by John M. Ford. And the reason I'm for sure going to read this is because Gareth has this book, and this is one of the original older TOS books that he's going to read. And so he's going to let me know when he's ready to read this, and I'm going to read this at the same time. Another book that I'm for sure going to read is Q Squared by Peter David. So I have the book, and I'm going to read the book, but Scott Danielson also sent me the abridged audiobook of this. And the reason I'm really interested in it is because he just raves about how great of an abridgment it is. Plus, John Delancey, who plays Q in TNG, he narrates. So I'm really looking forward to that. I figure I'll read the book first, and then I will listen to the abridged audiobook. And then I'm really, really drawn to this Q Continuum Trilogy. Q Space, Q Zone, and Q Strike, all 3 by Greg Cox. I really am thinking I'm going to pick these up as my next physical books after I'm done with Triangle. Really, really strong pull. It's not a for sure thing, but this is the most likely thing I'm going to be reading next in physical form. And then the next audiobook I'll be reading is the second part of the 50-year mission, the next 25 years. So that is a quick and dirty book trek update, and I will call that the end of the video.